Hey guys, so I want to make a video of fun facts that you may not know about me. Just so you can know me a little bit better, but also just because it seemed like fun. So, the first one is, this one is actually one that I have talked about, but I wanted to include it because it was kind of a big part of me when I was little, which was that when I was little, I knew nothing about dance and I wanted to be a gymnast. And my mom would never let me. Now, here's why. For some reason, and the other part that kind of goes with it is, I didn't even fully know about gymnastics at first. Like, literally at first. Here we go, open that. Because you want to. At first, I knew nothing about gymnastics. I didn't know gymnastics was basically doing a lot of flips and cartwheels and different tricks and stuff. And what ended up happening was I just really loved gymnastics, not knowing what it was. And so I watched the movie McKenna, which is an American Girl doll movie. I love that movie still to this day. And I saw that they were kind of what gymnastics was, and like doing flips and stuff on like the beam and just like a bunch of tricks. Hey Sam. And that's kind of how I discovered what gymnastics was. And then for some reason I didn't really get too into it, but then Sam, what's wrong? So for some reason, I just kind of never got into it too much, and I, for a while, didn't want to do gymnastics because, like doing tricks and stuff up high and like that situation. But then I found the Bratayley channel, and this was when I was like 5, like maybe 5 or 6, like I found the Bratayley channel, and I learned what gymnastics really was, and for some reason, then I just always loved gymnastics up until I want to say like age 11, almost 12, when I started dance and learned what dance was. And the reason my mom would never let me do gymnastics is I have on roller brands, which means I bleed easily. Only pretty soon I'm going to be on another medicine, because we did get a call today. I am anemic. And yeah, so I am anemic, but that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's like, I just drink like my juice twice a day instead of once, because I have to take 2 pills, and it goes straight into my juice. Because my dad already knows that there's no way I'm swallowing a pill. We kind of knew that this was coming, but we weren't sure. Sam, what's wrong, Vicky? Okay. You want me to rub his head for a second and show him that I love him. But, because he saw this coming a little bit, he went like, so are you going to take a pill? And I'm like, no. And he's like, I'll find out if we can put in your juice. And so I went like, well, let's hope. And he went like, I'm pretty sure we can. But he got the phone call and asked them, and they did say we could just put it in my juice, which works out. And so that kind of gives you guys a lesson if you are someone that loves milk, like you love milk, even if you love like mixing it in like smoothies and different things, try to cut back on the milk a little. Like, it's healthier than some stuff, but I became anemic because of milk. Because I am pretty much addicted to drinking milk. I love milk so much. And it made me anemic. So the next fun, and the reason my mom won't let me do gymnastics was because she didn't want me like falling and getting hurt and stuff like that. But also because of Von Wilder brands. So, the next like fun fact thing. Sam, what do you want, baby? You want to come up here? You want to come up? Here, you can come up here, baby. Baby Sam. Rub your nose. Hey, yeah. So the next fun fact is that I love Pac-Man so much, and my sister was the one that introduced me to it. So what happened was we were at this restaurant that's like in the town that my sister lives in, and we were like eating and like getting like pizza and stuff, and then, which by the way, I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but all of a sudden I had like this like wallet type thing with a bunch of like money in it and stuff, and pretty much what happened was we were sitting down waiting for the food, and my sister pretty much was like, they had a Pac-Man machine there, and she, here's a Pac-Man machine, and like we got all excited and we went and played Pac-Man, and I just loved Pac-Man ever since. And to where last year for Easter, when I wrote my Easter bunny list, because in our family we always do that, you know, write your little letter, but we always would keep it like to a limit, so like Easter wasn't as big as like Christmas, but we would definitely put a few, and I only put 5 things on the list. I put 5 things, and I put in, the first thing on the list was Pac-Man. I wanted this little like Pac-Man game, which is over there. And then I wanted a spinny wheel, because I feel like a lot of YouTubers use it, and it could be fun for some different videos. Bath bombs and like face masks, and then anything JoJo. That was like my Easter list. And that morning, what happened was I filmed a video so you can watch it, where pretty much what ended up happening was we kind of got like a scavenger hunt thing out of it, because I really like doing like scavenger hunts and stuff, which Bella's sister is used to like doing scavenger hunts for Easter, but I'm not. But so on my like list, my dad wrote it for me, and then, you know, like he put make it a scavenger hunt. So I got to go around finding a bunch of clues that then led me to the washing machine where my Easter gift was in, and it was the one box. And I got so disappointed because I didn't think it was Pac-Man, because it didn't look like a Pac-Man box or anything. And then I grabbed the box, went into the living room so my mom could see, opened it, and it had a Pac-Man inside. And it had like, it was still in its box, and I got so excited. This year, I basically just got a bunch of chips. I got some sour cream and onion chips, cheese puffs, like a bunch of chips. like party size bags for Easter, and I was happy. That's why I never made a video, because like what I got for Easter, because you guys know what like bags of chips look like, you know. The next fun fact, I'm trying to think here of some. Oh wait, I'm short. I'm literally short. I'm 5'9.5". No, not 5'9.5". I meant 4 foot. I'm 4'9.5". So I'm short, and I'm probably not gonna grow anymore, because I always been short, and that is fine. Here, let's check something. Good. That's nice. Sorry, I was checking through your Instagram story, and someone like asked her like, "Do you love like Kylie?" And she put so much, or like something, nice little thing. So the next fun fact. I'm trying to think of some that like maybe you wouldn't know. Because I feel like I definitely share a lot of my life that I can share with you. Obviously, there's parts that I can't, but I try to really like share with you what I can and let you guys know me pretty well. The next one, this one kind of another obvious one, which is I want to go blonde so bad. And it may or may not happen. And it's getting like kind of eager right now because right now I'm like patiently been waiting for like the past like 4 or 5, wait, today's Monday. Yeah, for like the past 4 days to hear a response from my mom, because she's in charge of like if I can do it or not. And what happened, I'm gonna kind of explain that what happened was that it started kind of on Thursday, and then she was like, yeah, you can like dye your hair and stuff, but not blonde. And I'm like, so then it came down to pink, and then like the next day, Friday, we got into an argument or something, and because she said, no, you're not dyeing your hair, and I'm like, you said that I could yesterday. And then it got to where now, it got to where now I'm just patiently waiting to hear my response, or her response. The next fun fact is I had short hair growing up, like short hair with bangs. Like, I had the bang, and the funny thing is, now I can't seem to find any photos of me with it, but I had some short hair with bangs, and it was interesting. It was a look. I didn't really like it too much, but I did because as I kind of didn't realize too much that like it was my choice to grow my hair out or not. And my mom always liked the short hair, so I just always went short hair. Oh, this next one, I thought of a good one. So, fun fact, I never really got in trouble too much growing up. Like, And if I did, it was over something silly. Like, I would lie over something pointless. That, like, even if I told the truth, and don't worry, I admitted to all of them. I'm clear, I'm good. But, like, even if I told the truth, I wouldn't get in trouble. Like, it was pointless things. But the one time that I actually got in trouble for a decent reason was, so, this, okay, I'm kind of exposing someone else, but I'm not going to say me and the family member that I'm a year older. I'm not saying who. We both got in trouble this one day over something that I feel like I don't even know why we did it. And, like, looking back on it, it was kind of random, and I don't even know how we got away with it for so long. Which was, we were both around the same age. We still obviously are. You can't change. But, my mom would always buy, like, these kids' scissors, which are, like, safety scissors. So they're made so you're less likely to cut yourself and, like, all of this stuff. And what happened was that this one day, and we were hanging out, like, in the classroom, because at the time they were living here, and also, or no, I don't know they were living here. Yeah, I think they were or something. And like, kind of for that reasoning, my toys and stuff were in the classroom. And so we basically decided, we were in the classroom just hanging out, and we found, like, basically we picked up our kids' safety scissors and we cut each other's hair. And it wasn't even like, oh, we cut a lot off. We cut like the tiny bit, so it was more like a trim. And it kind of looked, it didn't look too bad, but it kind of looked a little weird, only because, like, we both had bangs. And it was really funny looking back on it now. And no one noticed. Like, no one noticed until the end of the day. And finally, only they were sitting on the couch across from my mom. And my sister was sitting over there. And all of a sudden, my mom looks up and she's like, wait. And her hair looks like, I'm going to say it was a her. Looks cut. And my sister looked at him and like, yeah, it's cut. And then they kind of caught on. And my mom said that the only reason she didn't know was because it looked as if, like, she had just pulled her bangs back. Like, bobby pinned them up a little. But yeah, that's the one time that we got in trouble. And it was, well, I wouldn't say the one time, but one of those, like, random things that, like, I feel like every kid does, but at the same time it's, like, just random. And it's a fun little fact, because now at the time it wasn't, because we got in trouble, obviously. And this isn't me trying to, like, throw them under the bus. I feel like it's to show that, like, just because I'm well behaved now, I've done things in the past, and I feel like it was my idea. Which is kind of random. Usually when something happens, it's usually not really my idea. Versus now, like, it's one of those moments, you know. So yeah. The next fun fact, there was even though I'm short, I can eat a lot. Like, I can eat a lot of food. Like, I eat so much food that's not even funny. Like, so I'm like 15, and I pretty much am at the point where I stopped growing. And but I can eat a whole pizza, a whole large pizza. Now, you also got to consider, that sounds worse than what is. The next fun fact is that I don't like pizza crust. I never have liked the crust. Literally, when I eat a pizza, I like the pizza in front of me, and then I'll eat all the ham, and then all the cheese, and then, like, I'll get, like, a lot of the sauce and stuff, and eat that. I don't eat the crust. I don't pick it up and eat it. I, like, pick all the ham and cheese off and eat that. Like, that's one of the things that, at one point I asked my parents and they were like, yeah, it's just one of those things that I always done. And it's weird because for me that's one of those things that I'm like confused on, because so many times they'll be like, oh, you used to eat this like cake or something, and or ice cream or like cheese grits and stuff. But then and I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, it's things that, like, now, you ask me, now I wouldn't eat it to save planet Earth. Like, I'm picky. Pickier than when I was little. But one of the things that I assumed for a really long time that I used to eat pizza crust. And found out one day that I never did. The next fun fact. So because of that reasoning, I want to say I quit ordering kids menu. Actually not true. I still love a good kids menu. I get annoyed though, because when I like the kids meal, because like with the kids meal I can get like my chicken nuggets and I get like a whole little meal, and I get a toy. I like a toy. Even though sometimes it's something stupid that, like, not stupid, but, like, pointless to me. I mean, and stuff. Sorry that I said a bad word there. It's not actually, here's my thing. For a while, I always thought that saying the word stupid was, like, a bad word. And stuff growing up, I always did. And then finally, me and Bella's sister were like having a little debate about it for some reason. Like, I know it's a bad word, and she's like, I don't think it is. And then, so finally we went and asked my mom, and my mom said, it depends on how you use it. So it's not really a bad word. Or my mom explained that if you're like calling someone that, then it's like a bad word. It depends on how you use it though. But saying like, oh, this is stupid or something like is a different circumstance. But like, I get annoyed with the kids' meal though. I generally do, because I'm the type that, like, if I'm getting chicken nuggets, I run at least a 10-piece. You know, like at least 10 chicken nuggets and stuff. Versus the kids' meals, a lot of them don't do that. And I'm like, I get so annoyed by it. Because so yeah, I get like very annoyed by that, because I'm like, but I want the toy and the fries and stuff, but I don't want, but I need like a 10-piece. Yeah. Okay, the next fun fact. This one is so random. I don't like French fries. The only place I'll ever eat French fries at is McDonald's. I don't know why. I'm like growing up, I used to like, I always loved McDonald's French fries. But like, I would also like enjoy like, I a place called Smithfield, which is like a chicken-based restaurant. Like they had fries. I know I didn't really like theirs that much because they were kind of like McDonald's fries, but they weren't as salty and they weren't crunchy. I like a nice crunchy French fry. I realized that's something that I feel like I get from my mom, because there's some stuff that I'm like, oh, I get from the person, even though we're not like blood related. I am adopted, so like, but it's random. And my mom loves a nice crunchy French fry. Then, and I know there was, at one point, I tried Dairy Queens. Never was a big fan of theirs. Like, I would eat French fries from a couple different places, but for the most part, or I guess I'm not a big French fry person, unless it comes down to McDonald's fries. Fun fact, at one point, when I go through phases with McDonald's. This is like something true. Like sometimes I'm all like, I really like a Happy Meal, and like the chicken nuggets and stuff. Then there's times when I'm like, I want nothing to do with the chicken nuggets, and I'm like, oh, just give me like the bacon. And then there's times when I'm like, just give me the French fries. And now I'm like, I constantly alternate between them. But at one point for a very long time, because right before this, I had so much McDonald's to where I was sick of it. Like, almost every day I had McDonald's for lunch. So for a very long point, all I would eat at McDonald's, besides the bacon, and even then I would rarely get that, was a large fry from McDonald's and a Diet Coke. So now I'm like, that's like a fun little fact. The next fun fact, this one is very random, but this is one of those things that I'm like, yes. About like, it's one of those things that like makes me like really like, it's one of those things that I'm like, me and my crush are meant to be. And this adds on to the list, which is I am a very picky eater. A lot of the times I don't eat certain things, and sometimes I do. And that is kind of a good thing, because I know that like my crush, there's certain things that he's like, nope, not willing to try, doesn't like one bit. And then I know there's stuff that like he likes to eat. So like, that's a nifty one. I'm going to tell you a few more fun facts. So the next like fun fact is that I'm trying to think of what. Oh wait, I remember. When I was little, when I was born, I couldn't sit up or anything, and I had a physical therapist, and I would get so mad and moody for no reason. And then like I generally like, yeah, like I would just get so mad. And the thing was that like half the time I wouldn't even realize. My TV is dusty. Give me a second. Sorry, my TV was kind of dusty, so I was dusty. So the next fun fact, I was born deaf. I couldn't hear and I couldn't speak. So I'm going to do one more fun fact, which is that when I was little, I loved a ball. Anytime someone would come over, they would bring me a ball, and I would get so excited.